Hi, good morning. Welcome to Science. We are talking about the organization of living things. So it makes a logical jump that we would talk about the human body and that how it is organized. So some of this you've had before in different pieces. I'm going to give you the overview. Don't panic. Then I'm going to tell you, or show you rather, what how you would have to demonstrate this knowledge and this information on a test. So it's not as overwhelming as if you're, say, learning to be an LPN or something. We're just gonna. I want you just to have the understanding of how the different systems in the body work and how it's organized, and that is it. And that is it. And so when you see that information on the test, you may have things presented in a chart or a graph, um, have some general understanding what different systems do in the body. That's not hard. Some of you already know just from living. So let's go on and take a look at this lesson for today, and we'll start making it plain. So the human body is compared to a machine. And think about some common machines like a drill or a washing machine. Each machine consists of many parts, and each part has its own job to do. And then these parts work together to perform an overall function, right? Our overall function of our body system is to keep us alive. And so the human body is like a machine. In fact, it might be the most fantastic machine on earth. So our body is organized how? By cells, tissues, and organs. And if we start with the tiniest molecules in existence, we have atoms. And then we have compounds or molecules. And then those molecules will form organelles. Organelles can become cells, and many cells together can become a specific type of tissue, skin, muscle, blood. And then the tissues together can become an organ. When you have more than one organ in a particular system, you have an organ system. For example, the respiratory system, right, which is our lungs and our blood vessels. And then all of the different organ systems will come together to form the human organism. And so, as we already know, we're going to start with cells. And those are the basic parts of the human machine. And we've got about 100 trillion of them by the time we reach adulthood. And as you know, cells are the basic units of structure and function in all living things and in the human body. Some are specialized. These look like nerve cells and tissues here. They have long parts on them that carry an electrical message to other cells. So as you see, there's a little space in between, and then you have these long, like fingers. And then muscle cells have a special type of tissue and called mitochondria, which provides the energy. Take a look at this on your own. Okay, so for your own understanding and deeper understanding, we'll take a look at that. Here are different types of cells in the human body. We know these to be blood cells, skin cells, smooth muscle cells, bone cell rather, and then we have our muscle cells. This is a neuron or a nerve cell. These are epithelia and globulate cells that you would see, say, lining the stomach or the intestine. This is a heart cell, and then these are skeletal muscle cells. So they all have a different function to play in the body. So after the cell, we know that the next level of organization in the body is a tissue, and that's a group of connected cells that have a specific job. And so there are four types of human tissues: epithelial, muscle, nervous, and connective. What does a connective tissue do? It forms the body's structure, like bone and cartilage. So, yeah, I think I remembered that. And epithelial is the skin and the lining of the digestive tract. It protects the body. Skin makes us waterproof and it protects the internal organs. And it makes hormones that also that uh, help to digest food and protect the stomach and absorb nutrients. Muscle tissue have cells that have the ability to contract, get shorter, and they're attached to bones and they make the body move. These things we already know. Then we have nervous tissue made up of nerve cells, or which are called neurons. And the nervous tissue makes up the brain and the nerves that connect the brain to all parts of the body, from the top of your head to the bottom of your toes. Okay. And then we have organs and organ systems. Remember, an organ is two or more types of tissues that work together to do the same job, such as your brain, your heart, your lungs, your skin, which is an organ, your kidneys. Human organs are divided into organ systems, and those are groups of organs that come together to carry out a complex function. And each organ of the system does part of the larger job. So, as you know, we have the skeletal system, which are our bones. We have the muscular system, the digestive system, which actually starts in the mouth, then goes to the large intestine. We have the respiratory system. Then we have the nervous system, our brain and our nerves, and the circulatory system, which includes the heart, the veins, the arteries, capillaries, all of that. So, to take a look at the body's organ systems, just know what they are: cardiovascular, heart, vessels, blood, transport oxygen, hormones, and nutrients to the body's cells, and moves waste and carbon dioxide out of the cells. Then we have the lymphatic system, which is very important. You may know that you have some small nodules on each side of your throat. Those are called lymph nodes. And then we have lymph vessels in different areas of our body. Some are um, in our armpits, they're different areas. And this helps the body to defend against infection and disease and moves the lymph or the fluid between tissues and the blood system. So this is your body's filter. So it's a very important system. When your lymph nodes are swollen, you may be able to feel sometimes the lymph nodes in your throat being swollen. What that means is that your body is trying to fight some type of infection or illness. Then we have our digestive system, which is the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine. And actually, however, digestion begins in the mouth where we chew food and break it down into smaller particles. So, what does the digestive system do? It digests food, absorbs nutrients, minerals, vitamins, and water through the foods we take in, the foods that we eat. Then we have the endocrine system, which is very important as well. And it encompasses the pituitary gland in the brain, which can regulate um, um, it can regulate, I just lost my word. Your hypothalamus, your adrenals that sit on top of your kidneys, ovaries, in the reproductive system, and testes because they secrete hormones that communicate between cells. And the pituitary gland can tell your brain when to begin puberty. Oh my gosh. Then we have I never knew this word, integ- integumentary, which is hair, skin, and nails. They have a purpose. They provide protection from injury and water loss. Most of your body heat comes out of the top of your head, which is cooling, or is to cool. And hair actually then is to retain body heat. physical defense against infection by microorganisms, and temperature control. So there is a function. Nails have a function, skin and hair. And hair, body hair, we have for a reason. We've decided that uh, body hair, particularly on women, is not sexy, but body hair has a purpose to protect from injury, infection. So um, there is a movement now of young women that don't shave, and body hair is natural, it's there for a purpose. And then we have our muscular system, which includes our heart, which is a muscle. The heart is a muscle. The muscles outside of our um, outside of our skeleton, and then the smooth muscle, and then we also have tendons, which help connect muscles, one type of muscle to the other. Think about on your arm, um, your fingers, your toes. You have the nervous system, the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves. They collect, transfer, and process information. Then we have the reproductive system. And the woman or female, it is the uterus, vagina, fallopian tubes, and ovaries. And the male, it is the penis, testes, and the seminal vesicles. And I believe the seminal vesicles transport sperm, or what we call gametes, sex cells, and sex hormones. Then in your respiratory system, we have the trachea, or our air pipe, our larynx, our pharynx, and our lungs. And our one is our voice box, and then the actual throat and the lungs. And I'm sorry that I'm a little rusty on that, but I'm going to get that. Then we have our skeletal system: bones, cartilage, ligaments protect soft tissues of the body, produce blood cells, store minerals. Very important. Then our urinary, which is our bladder and our kidneys. They remove extra water, salts, and waste products from the blood in the body. They control the acid balance of the body. They control the water and salt balance. And water and salt balance is very important, because if it's off, you can have a heart attack. You can die. Immune system consists of the bone marrow, the spleen, and organ in your lower abdomen area, and the white blood cells, which defend against diseases. So white blood cells, when your body is suppressed, you will make less white bone cells, and you're more vulnerable to infection. Say if you have cancer or lupus or HIV/AIDS, then your body is less able to fight against other diseases. Whew, that's a lot, right? So the questions are, or the summary is rather, that the human body is organized at different levels, starting with the cell. Cells are organized into tissues, and tissues form organs. And organs are organized into organ systems, such as the skeletal and muscular systems. So this I would like for you to take a look at is the review. What are the levels of organization? What kind of tissue covers the surface of the body? What are the functions of the skeletal system? Oh, it's loud in here. What organ system supports the body and allows it to move? Explain how form and function, meaning how they're shaped and what they do, are related in human cells. Include examples. Compare and contrast epithelial skin versus muscle tissue. And then take a look at this, which is very interesting, which goes through the different parts of the body from the beginning to the end, showing you how the whole body system is organized. So take a look at that. And that's all we have for today. Here, the review, your vocabulary is here on the page as well. If you need that extra help, take a look at that, answer those questions, and we'll talk about this a little bit more on next week. So you all take care. No, I'm sorry, on Thursday. So that's it for today. Take care.